All right, guys, good morning. Welcome to our morning market update for Monday, March 5th of 2018. This is George Papazov from TRADEPRO Academy. I'm in California at the moment, so I took a little endeavor and jumped on a trip to get certified, and 5 awesome things I'll tell you about in the near future as they get finished. I'll be here for about 3 weeks, so I look forward to taking you guys along with me for this journey for some of my travels. And it's going to be exciting. I'm going to start doing some more YouTubes again on the weekend. This past weekend, I didn't get a chance with the travel schedule to put together what I was looking for, the 2 clips. They'll be up Saturday and Sunday of this upcoming week. So we're back to a regular schedule now that I'm sort of settled in. All right, in today's morning market update, we're going to talk about Donald Trump and what he said that's kind of rolling the markets a little bit, that's disturbing them, shaking them up. We're going to talk about Nafta, and most importantly, we're going to review all the economic events that are going to be moving markets this week coming up for 2018, or not for 2018, for just this week from Monday to Friday. We're getting close to the Federal Reserve interest rate announcement. That's happening very soon. So we're going to talk about that this week as well in preparation for it. Not on today's broadcast, but it'll be coming up shortly. All right, so let me just take you through the market so far this morning. In Asia, Japan's down 0.7%. So almost down 1/10 of a percentage point, or almost down. It is down 7/10 of a percentage point actually. Hong Kong's down 2.3%. So shares in Hong Kong are sliding here overnight. China's up 0.1%. India's down 1 percentage point as well. So Asian markets are starting the week pretty weak. All right, pardon the play on words there, but weakness in Asian session. And then in Europe at midday, London is pretty flat, up about just 0.1%. Paris is up 0.3%. Or 0.3 of a percentage point, and Frankfurt is up 1/3 of a percent, or 0.3 of a percentage point as well. So some stability there in Europe after a slide in Asian markets, and the United States market is predominantly flat. Dow Jones down just 0.1, S&P down 0.1, Nasdaq up 0.2. So after a weak start to this week, we're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in the selling in both the European and the early wee hours here of the U.S. market. All right, we got to talk about crude oil. What's happened here in crude oil overnight? This morning, the IEA, the International Energy Association, has released a report on oil saying that the United States will be the largest oil producer by 2023. That's a pretty bold forecast. They're expected to reach 12.1 million barrels and to surpass Russia's 11 million barrel output currently on a daily basis. All right, and that's interesting news because what is some of the reason that the oil price has managed to climb higher? It's because OPEC has decided to come to the table along with Russia and limit their production quota, limit the amount of oil they output into the market. And so what you could see here is the benefit is being reaped majorly or primarily by the United States. So that's going to be interesting to watch for the upcoming OPEC meetings, any kind of news from the OPEC oil ministers and all the countries associated with it. Keep an eye out on oil today. It is trading a little bit higher this morning. And currently, what is the price of oil? Let me just have a look. Currently, oil's at 61.27. It opened at 61.24. So we're holding a little bit of the open after a few rotations. Today's low 61.16. So as long as oil stays between the 16 and the 24, we think there's going to be a little bit of bullish momentum early on, but that's going to quickly get sold off. So we're still continuing to sell rallies on oil, sell rallies on the S&P 500 and other equity markets, and looking for strength in the US dollar as this dollar climbs out through some resistance and makes a run at potentially 92 all the way on the upside. All right, Bitcoin is up 0.3 of a percentage point so far this morning. It traded to 11,513. Let me just have a gander here at what Bitcoin's doing on the technical chart. If I can't pull it up, here we go. You can see it's climbed out from this 90. What was the low of this move? Around 92.30. Volume is still not there on Bitcoin. So yes, we made a run up to the highs or the high tick at the moment of February 19th of 2018. We're pretty much coming up for that high that fell just short of 12,000. We're making a run for it. But on this last week and a half's rally, I haven't seen volume increase. And volume is pretty indicative of the direction it's going to. One of the analogies I gave our students that was in for a week-long training in private last week was this. Volume is like the gas pedal on a car. If you're cruising down the freeway, as you call it in the United States, highway in Canada, I don't know why, and in America or in Europe, you guys call it all sorts of different things. you're on the freeway, highway, and the European version of it, just cruising in your car, and you're hitting on the gas pedal, that's your volume, right? So your gas pedal is pressed down, you're going to maintain your speed. What happens if you let go of the gas pedal? Well, your car is not going to suddenly stop. It'll continue to cruise, but it's going to decelerate and start to lose momentum. That's exactly what happens in a stock or other asset. Bitcoin is no different than any other asset. When you let off of that gas pedal, that vehicle starts to decelerate and slow down and lose momentum. And if the gas is not applied, eventually that vehicle will come to a stop. And then what? And then, unlike a car, that asset's expected to fall back down for a retracement to find some buyers. All right, very novel and important concept to some traders. Hopefully that sticks with you. I like that analogy. All right, this morning at 9:45, we're going to have PMI Services Index. 10 a.m., we're going to have the ISM Non-Manufacturing Index. We got a crazy busy week of economic news coming up in the next 5 days. A lot of central banks. Europe's going to be on there. Bank of Canada. They're going to have a lot of influence on the currency market, which will in turn have influence on the US dollar, which will obviously have great degree of influence on other commodities and assets. That intercorrelation and market dependency globally is what a lot of traders lack and miss out on. And I'm here to give it to you straight. All right. Donald Trump tweeted that he would target European car imports over the weekend. So his whole idea of 20% tariff on steel, 10% tariff on aluminum is picking up over the weekend. Europe fired a few shots back and said that they too would start to apply tariffs and sanctions. And what you're starting to see is a trade war in the making. It's not a war fought with weapons, but it is a war fought with global goods and trade. And a trade war is just as dangerous as a regular war, because casualties may not be humans, but there still are casualties at the end of the day. It's going to cost a lot of economic loss if that starts to happen. Protectionism and trade war is never a good thing. I mean, I'm not arguing for or against what the United States is trying to accomplish. I understand in a lot of situations they have been taken advantage of for a very long time. But they are also one of the biggest economies globally. So it's a give and take relationship. There's going to have to be some negotiation. If there isn't, if everyone just starts applying tariffs, there's going to be a very quick escalation, and it could lead to a global trade war. Currency markets will get all fired up and expect to see weakness in equity markets. Trade war is good for nobody. Nobody wins. All right. So further to that, Donald Trump is expected to sign a formal EO or an executive order for the tariffs by the end of this week. So as we approach, or as we go deeper into the week of trading, look for more comments out of Donald Trump on that, and look for the market to price that in. I don't think these tariffs are priced in as a done deal. I think the market took it as, oh, hey, he wants to do this. Let's see if he gets it done. The more serious it becomes and the closer we get to executive order, the more severely we'll price this in. So I do think this week we could be looking at some weakness in equities. All right, Nafta, the 7th of 8 Nafta negotiation meetings have now passed. There has been mention from the White House that Canada and Mexico may see some exceptions to these tariffs as a trading partner if they do come to some kind of agreement. But the 7th of 8th meeting on NAFTA renegotiations has passed without any kind of details, any kind of solutions, without moving forward. So that's interesting. Let's wrap up this morning market update by talking about the economic news coming up for this week so you can prepare as a trader. Today at 10 a.m., like I said, we have ISM non-manufacturing PMI. That's an important number at the top of the hour, expected at 58.9. All right, Tuesday. Not much else out of the economic front for the United States on Monday. If you're trading the evening markets, you're going to have some opportunities, some things coming out of Australia that could help you capitalize on some Asian session trading. All right, on Tuesday, we don't really have much as well. Wednesday, it starts to pick up. Out of Canada, we have the Bank of Canada rate statement at 10 a.m. This is equivalent to the Federal Reserve in Canada. All right, that's headed by Governor Polas. And that's at 11 a.m. He's going to speak sorry, I just got that crossover here on Thursday. On Wednesday, Bank of Canada's rate statement is going to be at 10 a.m. So watch for currency markets to react, especially the US dollar Canadian. On Thursday, we start to see the European Central Bank's press conference at 8:30 and their minimum bid rate or their interest rate announcement at 7:45 a.m. Eastern. Expect a lot of volatility out of the euro during this upcoming meeting. There's a lot going on in the ECB. We're going to cover that on Thursday's morning market update. I'm going to cover the whole thing on that. It's going to be very important. All right, and then out of Japan on Thursday in the evening, we have the Bank of Japan policy rate and monetary policy statement. This is a really heavy central banking week for Europe, Canada, and Japan. This is going to be massive for currencies, and it could have a pretty big and significant impact on equities as well in the United States. Friday, we ended off with average hourly earnings and non-farm employment change, because Friday is March 9th. It's the first Friday of the month. And that means it's non-farm payrolls time. Huge number. This is a jobs report that's watched on a monthly basis by the Federal Reserve. The Fed's got their own meeting coming up, so it's going to be very important. Especially because Jay Powell said, hey, guys, look at this. The job or labor market is not as good as we once thought. But Janet Yellen taught us this whole time, told us the labor market's one of the best things around. It's in sliced bread. That's why they're raising interest rates. Jay Powell comes in and says, wait, no, it's not that good. Average hourly earnings aren't really picking up the way we want it. So there's a little bit of disarray here, or a little bit of conflict within the Fed, that markets are looking for some intel on. How do they get that? By looking at reports. So a huge week of trading ahead. I got to wrap it up and open up the trading room. It's going to be busy. You guys need to stay informed. You need to trade with a community, one like ours. We trade daily, actually. In fact, when I wrap this morning market update, I head into the trading room. We set up some levels. We also talk about where the trades would make sense. And then throughout the day, we just do them together live. How amazing is that? Find a group that you belong to, and you belong to ours as a trader. I'll see you guys in there. It comes a 14-day money-back guarantee. I encourage you guys to try it out. And if not, just enjoy this free YouTube updates and go the distance alone. That's also possible. It's not as easy, and it's definitely not as fun. All right, guys, all the best. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Hopefully you've enjoyed this morning market update from LA. I'll get some better lighting around here. I'll hire the makeup crew to come back out in LA. There's a lot of makeup artists in LA to make me look better for tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. Have a great day. Trade careful. Trade like a trade pro and manage your risk. Goodbye. Trade pros, give me 1 second. Let me open up the trading room here and stop this.